Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today I am doing my Coventry City season review for the 2021-2022 campaign. It is over and what a season it has been. Guys, do make sure to drop a like on this video. Do make sure to hit that subscribe button while you are watching. Make sure to get involved by subscribing and liking and getting comments down below. And a massive thank you to all of you for your brilliant support this season. The Coventry City fans have been fantastic on the channel. So let's get into this video. Before doing a season review, it's worth giving some context into Coventry City before the season started. Obviously, we were in the Championship for a while after our relegation from the Premier League in 2001. We were there until 2012. We went down to League One. We really struggled to bounce back in those first few seasons. We even went down to League Two, and that's when Mark Robins came in. That's when things have started to get better for Coventry City. Each season, we are seeing progression. Obviously, we bounced back. We won the League Two playoffs. We consolidated in League One in that first season, finishing 8th. We then went on to win League One whilst playing at St Andrews, and in our first season back in the Championship last year, we finished 16th. Now, last season was an unusual season. Obviously, Coventry City have a great fan base, and obviously the effects of COVID meant we couldn't get fans to the stadium, even if it was in St Andrews. I think our fans do make a difference, and it was a slow burner. It looked like we were really going to be in the relegation dogfight, and finishing 16th doesn't really paint the full picture of that season. Obviously, it was an incredible ending, and we deserved to finish there, but with about 5 or 6 games to go, we did have to beat Rotherham in a game which felt like the loser would go down, and we survived. We finished at a canter, and an incredible end to the 2021 campaign. Now, in the summer of 2021, what I thought would be interesting was to see if we could take that brilliant form from the end of that season into the start of this season. Obviously, we need to run through the context through the summer as well. A lot of things changed in the football world. Fans returned to stadiums, and as well as that, Coventry City returned to Coventry, not the Rico anymore, the CBS now, and I was excited. I think we all were. We could all get there. Obviously, there's some fans that didn't want to go to St Andrews, and do you know what? It's just been a brilliant season for the fans. The fans have been fantastic. We will come on to that through the video, but yeah, it was brilliant. Obviously, some people will say St Andrews was always good for us. We obviously did very well there. We got promoted there. We won the league there, of course, and it was a carpet. I did like St Andrews, but obviously you want to be in your own city. The CBS has improved in terms of, like, I've seen the pitch much worse over previous seasons, so it hasn't been terrible this season. And like I say, you can get more fans in, which really helps the club with the finances. So what did we do with our summer transfer business? Well, let me show you the starting 11 for that first game of the season against Nottingham Forest. Simon Moore in goal. Now, he was a new goalkeeper, obviously came from Sheffield United. Marco Morosi went out the door. We kept Ben Wilson as the backup. Dominic Hyam, ever present at the back. He's been with us quite a while now. Kyle McFadzean, the captain on the opening day, scoring in this game. We'll come on to that. Fankati Dabo filling in at right centre-back. Ian Matson, also new. He was playing as a left wing-back. He developed and played really well through the season. Julian Da Costa on the right-hand side, didn't feature too much through the season. Ben Sheaf and Gustavo Hamer sitting. Ben Sheaf really consolidating his position this season after a few questionable performances last season. He's really come good, and with, you know, Robins has trusted in him. Callum O'Hare in front of them, and Victor Gyökeres, who obviously has been fantastic this season, alongside Martin Waghorn. This is kind of how we lined up for those first 10 games or so, and let's show you how we got on. Coventry City came flying out the traps in this first 11 games, winning 7 of them. Like I say, taking that form from the end of last season into this season. Something I've noticed under Mark Robins is each season we are finishing higher and higher in the football pyramid, and we do tend to end the season quite strong, but this season it was a little bit different. We started really strong, and like I say, some incredible wins in there. Nottingham Forest on the opening day, 96th minute winner. That was the first time we got a late goal, and you could really feel something special happening at the CBS. It was followed by a 1-0 defeat at Barnsley, a game which we absolutely battered them but somehow lost, and I was encouraged by that. You know, when you're creating chances, all you need is just to be clinical, and it has been a repeating theme through the season, but if you keep creating them chances, eventually you will get better at taking them, and that is something we can maybe take into next season. We followed that up with a 1-0 win away at Blackpool. Honestly, the away fans this season as well, I've got to say, Coventry City on the road have made a real name for themselves. Other clubs and fan bases are saying we are some of the best fans that have come to their stadium. After that was another late winner at the CBS. We beat Reading. We did lose to QPR before the first international break. We bounced back with a win against Middlesbrough, a win against Cardiff, a draw at Millwall, a win against Peterborough, Middlesbrough, that 5-0 loss to Luton, but then the 4-1 win to Fulham. It looked as though in that 11 games, the Luton game was a blip. And the Fulham game was the standout result. So you can see Coventry City really excelling in 3rd place after 11 games. I, at the time, was trying to keep level-headed. I think we all were trying to, because honestly it's so easy to get carried away in the moment, but a lot of us did believe the playoffs were on with that kind of start. But let's see what happened after the next international break. In the next 8 or 9 games, Coventry City's form did tail off a bit, but we were just about still hanging on in there going into December. Like I say, after that international break, we had the 2-2 draw at Blackburn. That was a really good performance, one of the best away days, where we took 4,000 and came back from 2-0 down to rescue a draw. Then we lost to Preston, and we saw our amazing home record come unstuck a bit as well. We drew with Derby, we then lost to Swansea, but we had some big wins in there. 1-0 away at Hull was a good result because we struggled to get away wins early in the season, and 3-2 at home to Bristol City, probably the best performance I've seen, because we had 10 men for the whole of that second half and we came back twice to win that game. It was incredible. And then you can see their draws starting to feed in, and it doesn't help if you're trying to make the top 6. Not that we should say Coventry City were originally trying to make the top 6 from the start of the season, but we were battling at that point. And we drew at Sheffield United, not a bad draw. We drew at home to Birmingham, not a great draw. We did draw away to Bournemouth, that was a good draw. We went into December in the playoffs, but that month absolutely killed us. We picked up 1 point from 3 games. We had a few games called off as well, much to the frustration of Coventry City, because on all occasions it wasn't Coventry pulling the plug. We had Stoke and Cardiff pull the plug on games around Christmas time, and it meant Coventry City's schedule after Christmas would be quite packed. After that, you could see a few wins bouncing back in, but losses as well. I think at this point, we were looking more like a mid-table team. It wasn't consistent either way. We weren't being terrible, we weren't being amazing, but it was just very inconsistent, and that saw us drop down the table to about 12th, and then we did bounce back to 10th with back-to-back wins in February. We were never too far away from the playoffs, but March proved to be a pretty damning month for us when we lost to Swansea, Luton. We got that incredible win against Sheffield United, but the killing game for me this season, and I've always thought it since it happened, was the 2-0 home defeat to Hull City. That game for me was when the playoff hopes really did die, to be honest. We lost that game after a big win against Sheffield United. We lost to Hull, who had really nothing to play for, at home, 2-0. It was just a really drab performance. We followed it up with a draw against Derby, a draw against Blackburn. We lost to Forest, but they were in form. We did give ourselves one last bit of hope when we won away at Fulham and won away at Birmingham around Easter time. But for me, again, the Bournemouth game at home, we got a great crowd for that game, but they had the automatics to fight for. We lost 3-0, and that was it. We kind of fizzled out after that with a 0-0 draw against West Brom, 2-1 defeat to Huddersfield, and a 1-1 draw at Stoke. And it saw Coventry City finish in 12th. I'm happy with that. Honestly, it's a weird season when you start so well and you fall away down to 12th, but you're still happy, because ultimately at the start of the season, I'd have taken 12th. My prediction at the start of the season was 14th, so 2 places out. Pretty happy with that, although, you know, during the first half of the season I thought it was way out. Let's have a look at some of the stats, numbers and my votes for player of the season and things like that. So Coventry City in 12th, 64 points. We advanced 9 points on last season. Coventry were the team to score the most stoppage time goals in the Championship this season, something we were synonymous with in the first half of the season in particular, and especially at the CBS. We're also the team that picked up the most points from losing positions. What that says to me is this team's got great character, great resilience, and Robbins honestly pushes them forward. Sometimes his team talks are massive. I think the style of football we play is amazing. Sometimes we have been our own worst enemy, but like I say, we're going in the right direction. I know it's early to call, but I think we might even advance again next season. I'm not going to say we definitely make the playoffs or anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if Coventry do another little jump and maybe break into the top 10 next season. Like I say, we're our own worst enemy. We created tons and tons of chances. Obviously, something we need to improve is our finishing. That's not just the strikers, the midfielders as well. We all need to chip in and maybe sign some new players in the summer. I think defensively we've been pretty good, but like I say, the frustration is we dominate a game, get 1 goal, and then concede 1 chance and it'd be a goal. So maybe defensively we do need to improve as well. I think the summer's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that in just a second, but here's my votes for player of the season, goal of the season, most improved player of the season and game of the season. Let's start with my player of the season. I'm going to agree with who Coventry City actually gave it to. Gustavo Hamer. He has been brilliant. Honestly, he's the anchor in that team. His value will have really gone up this season. Not that I want us to sell him, but he's been fantastic. Most improved player goes to Ben Sheaf. He's been fantastic as well. Honestly, I would give awards to all the players, but I can't. Goal of the season is going to be a split for me. Jordan Shipley's goal against QPR at home or Matty Godden's goal away at Derby. The football we played in that goal, honestly, unbelievable. And game of the season, I'm going to give it to Bristol City at home, coming back from losing twice to win that game in stoppage time with 10 men. Incredible character. So then, looking forward to the summer, the 3 key players I think we're all keeping an eye on in terms of interest are Gyökeres, O'Hare and Hamer. If we can keep all 3, brilliant. If we could at least keep 2, I'd still be pretty happy. Obviously there will be interest considering how well Coventry have done. Gyökeres getting 17 goals, O'Hare just being brilliant once again, and the potential he's showing. If he can add finishing to his game, he could be some player, and Gustavo Hamer will attract Premier League clubs. That's just a fact. In terms of players going out, we do know Jordan Shipley's going out the door. It is the right decision. He hasn't been able to break into the team, and I really like Jordan Shipley. I think he's just become a victim of the club's success. Obviously, he's been a key part in it, but we're in the Championship now. He hasn't been able to break in, and I do hope he gets some good game time when he goes to Shrewsbury, which seems to be the team that have gone for him. Where would I strengthen? We probably need a bit of strengthening in all positions. We've got 2 decent keepers. I will mention Ben Wilson's come in for a few games. He's been all right. So Simon Moore and Ben Wilson having a bit of competition keeps them on their toes. Defensively, another centre-back would be nice. If we could get another full-back, I think the full-backs have been decent. We wait to see what will happen with the likes of Ian Martson, but if we can get an attacking full-back and maybe another good defensive full-back, maybe someone who's all-rounded, but remember Coventry City's budget, we'll see what we can do. And obviously going forwards, if we could add another striker who's proven, that'd be great, and someone in the middle to maybe help us create chances and maybe chip in themselves. So it's all looking good for Coventry City. I know we've slipped away this season from a great start, but 12th is still a top half finish. We're looking at Coventry City's best finish over the last 15, 16 years or so. So it's very happy days. If you're a Coventry City fan, get your thoughts down below, and what are you thinking for next season? Honestly, I don't work for the club, but I urge you to get a season ticket. Honestly, each season ticket is instrumental into going into the club's budget and getting those players over the line. We saw that with the Coventry fans this season. If I had to rate Coventry's fans out of 10 this season, it would easily be a 10 out of 10. So like I say, it's all looking good. I'm looking forward to next season. Thank you for your support through the season. Make sure you dropped a like, make sure you subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.